And welcome back once more, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Katowice Royale. My name is Onset, and we are now looking forward to our fourth round of the day. But before we get into our fourth round of the day, we once again caught up with a couple of the Polish players. This time we had Hycel and Dyla on our interview. So let's find out a little bit more about these two gentlemen and see how they're going to get on today.
Zacząłem grę w Fortnite'a pewnego wieczoru. Ze znajomymi siedzieliśmy, szukaliśmy jakiejś gierki darmowej. Pograłem 30 godzin, nie poszedłem do pracy na następny dzień, no i tak zostało.
Tak jak mój kolega, również z kolegą szukałem w nocy po prostu czegoś do odprężenia. Pograliśmy w Fortnite'a, koledze się dosyć ta gierka nie spodobała, ale ja zacząłem grać, zostałem jeden dzień, drugi dzień, no i jestem teraz tutaj. Wydaje mi się, że naszą najmocniejszą stroną jest gra agresywna. Naszym atutem zapewne jest dobra mechanika i opanowanie w grze.
Myślę, że przełomowym momentem dla nas była Bush Paranoia. To był taki pierwszy turniej składowy, gdzie z ekipą taką zebraną w czwórkę zagraliśmy i wygraliśmy jeden mecz właśnie na topowych zawodników z Europy.
Wydaje mi się, że jeżeli chcesz być najlepszy, musisz mieć wszystkiego po kolei, czyli zarówno jak i budowanie, strzelanie i wyobraźnię celicą.
There we go then, guys. Hycel and Dyla, always good to hear from the Polish community. Love giving them the spotlight as well, so we can learn a little bit more about them. Not only their Fortnite, but we've also heard about some of these guys and what they do away from the game as well. But, I mean, these guys, we heard, downloaded and they got grinding.
30 hours and didn't go to work the next day. We do not encourage that here at the ESL Katowice Royale.
No.
We don't condone it either. You live your own life, you do everything to the best of your ability, but that just shows how addicting Fortnite is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a good example, right?
You don't do anything besides play Fortnite or cast Fortnite.
Or skip breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Fortnite's pretty much all I do now.
Well, you can see how it's paying off these players at the moment. You know, there's 100 of them here. The solos have really started to hot up now after the duos action that we had yesterday. One player that I wanted to highlight a little bit from that last particular game as well is the teammate, actually, of Shikuni, who we've talked about a lot, Macias. A huge jump up the rankings for him that's kind of gone under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that we haven't been able to focus on him at all. But then again, there's just so much action happening nonstop. But maybe now into this next round, we'll pay a little bit more of a closer eye to him to see what he's been doing. Because he's definitely been able to catch up and jump up the rankings.
I'd love to see if they have somewhat of a similar play style, considering the R duos. When you're a duo, like I mentioned yesterday, you do kind of have to stay on the same level. Stay in sync. So yeah, we'll see if they're if they have the same.
I want to see a duo from yesterday go head to head.
I was just about to say, round number 7.
I want to see that.
1v1. They're both like a couple of points away from each other. Oh, you can't shake hands with your duo after that one, can you? Go, GG. Just slowly walk away. So yeah, don't say anything after that one. But that's what it's all set up for, isn't it? You know, we've got 2 players from the same duo currently sat in the top 5 rankings. Well, definitely something you guys are going to have to keep an eye on.
Well, even Teak as well. We caught on with him towards the later stages of the game, and he had a massive elimination streak. He was at 7. He was at 10 at the end.
I think it was 9 or 10, yeah.
9 or 10 eliminations. Woo! And the thing is, if you look at the results, not the standings of how things broke down of the top 10 placings in the last round, if you look at results, Hashtag actually finished first, even though we saw Shikuni win in the end of things, because that shows how important these eliminations are. Even Flippeth, who was the guy who got eliminated last in second place, he was still ahead of Shikuni at the end of things. So Shikuni winning with only 1 elimination, yeah, he got first place, but he only got 70 points. Other players got a lot more eliminations to really grind up that leaderboard.
Yeah, you mentioned Hashtag. We saw him yesterday as well. He was just performing so well, just keeping up high ground and third partying a lot. And he just seems to always be in a position where he's in the advantage compared to other players. He doesn't really get rushed. He's just in such a good position to just rain down havoc on everyone else, but while staying safe, yeah.
And I think another player we should be highlighting as well, who won our second game today, was Yakos. Now, He picked up 100 points in that one game alone. Now, after 3 points, he has 3 games, excuse me, he has 114 points. So that shows how huge a performance in one game is for a player, and it shows that it can put you in contention even if you have a couple of games that don't quite go your way.
So that means then he got no eliminations and he was out of top 50 at the end of game 3 because he didn't change in points at all. And that's kind of like how the game can go sometimes, right? You get a bad position, you get a bad beat, you make a mistake, and clearly someone can completely capitalize off of that.
But it is important to stay consistent as you get points from eliminations and placement starting from, a pretty high number. So after about six games, I think we're going to see a big difference compared from top 10, top 20, and top 30. So at that point, it might not be that easy for you to have one good game to climb high up, but yeah, you can still push it up.
We did have Noisy there, as you saw, a guy we've been really focusing on because he did get an amazing victory yesterday with Lothar. He's not really been able to have that breakthrough game. We did obviously spot him and point him out a ton in the last match, but he hasn't really been able to get anything going just yet.
Yeah, sometimes you are just unlucky.
Roll the dice.
I'm just gonna say unlucky because he's my teammate. I just make excuses on his behalf. But he's still up there, right? I didn't really see what position he had right now.
He was in top 50, but he's more in the low 40 range.
Right. So
points.
yeah. So since it's only game 4, right? So he's still in it. He just need a couple of good games, and you can get up there.
As you say, one big game, it can very much put you back in contention. Yes. A bit of a weird question to put to you, Martin, at the end there. When you're playing Fortnite, you're playing solos, do you have any music on in the background? Do you have something coming in your headphones, or do you just kind of full focus, full game
focus.
sound?
I mean, as soon as you put on music, you stop hearing all the steps until they're really, really close, and I'm a bit paranoid when it comes to that.
Well, it's not the craziest of questions, because the reason that I asked that is because we asked that to some of our players. We wanted to find out what kind of music they're into away from Fortnite, so check this thing out and we'll find out what they got up to.
Jeśli chodzi o muzykę, to preferuję progresywny metal, ale na streamie często słucham muzyki klasycznej, bo pasują praktycznie utwory klasyki, pasują do wszystkich praktycznych gier.
Moim ulubionym stylem muzyki jest grime, ale jeżeli chodzi o artystów, nie mam jakichś szczególnych.
Lubię rocka bardzo słuchać i mam wielu ulubionych artystów.
Jaką muzykę lubię najbardziej? Przede wszystkim słucham tak naprawdę wszystkiego, poczynając od jakichś takich właśnie disco polo, chociaż bardzo rzadko, sporadycznie, to przede wszystkim jakiegoś takiego rapu bardziej zagranicznego, które, nie oszukujmy się, jest dla mnie czymś, co mnie jakby cieszy podczas słuchania, sprawia mi radość.
Najczęściej słucham rapu i moimi ulubionymi artystami jest Sarus i Szpaku.
Najczęściej słucham muzyki elektronicznej i rocka, nie mam jakichś szczególnych ulubionych artystów.
Moim ulubionym typem muzyki jest muzyka elektroniczna i nie mam jakichś specjalnych twórców, których słucham najczęściej.
Ja lubię muzykę mieszaną, ja wszystko słucham. Rap, hip-hop, elektroniczna, rock, wszystkiego.
There we go then, a lot of different eclectic tastes there. What do you listen to? Backstreet Boys?
I love Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Spice Girls, O-Town, Bring It On. What the heck is grime, though?
Dude, grime music? You don't know what grime music is?
I don't know what grime music is.
Dude, British people in the chat.
Isn't that like hip-hop?
No, it's like kind of like British hip-hop, I guess.
Then why is it just not called British hip-hop?
Because grime, mate.
Much cooler. Much cooler.
Grime, mate, you know what I mean?
It does sound cooler, but that's not what I was expecting.
Exactly. Grime music. Shout out to whoever that was who pointed out that they like grime music. But we're moving on to our round 4 very soon, gentlemen. The bus is getting loaded and ready. Who do you think has to have a standout game here? Because there's a few players who are kind of on the cusp at the moment, and they do need a big game.
So have a standout or want to see have a standout again? So those are two little bit different questions. Because I want to
have a standout to stay in contention, should we say, to get into those later rounds.
I almost want to see King again. I mean, just for the fact that he got so many eliminations early on, but because like a streak like that, and if he could have gotten a really good placing, we could have seen him jump so far up those leaderboards. So he has, the two parts. He has the early game down. He just needs to get that late game down.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I want to see Jarkos again after what he pulled in game 2. It was such an interesting game, like we mentioned. Just a lot of back and forth, and he just stayed so focused. He knew exactly what he was doing. He had the high ground, he lost the high ground, he got the high ground back, and he just a lot of back and forth, and eventually just bringing it back home. So I really want to see him again, maybe a bit more in mid-game, a bit more fights.
Keep an eye on that, gentlemen, and see what he can do in this one. He needs a big game. Round number 4 is underway. The bus is ready and loaded. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much, Mark. And yes, round 4 here, the halfway point of today. We still have a lot more Fortnite action to come up in this next week as well as we hit the international version of our tournament. A lot of countries going to be participating in this. We have some Australians here, some Koreans, some Chinese. We have so many players. It's going to be exciting. But right now, this man's been exciting. Shakuni, the victor Royale from last game. He has 2 so far under his belt. Can he get a third, Barton? Do you think it's in the cards?
I think it's very possible. We're only down to game number 4, and he already has 2 Royales. So I mean, yeah, I'm not quite sure where he's dropping. Oh,
wait, did he just ripped? He just got out of there. He said, "All right, I'm out of this one." But I think Hivix wants to go for the final shot though, and he's not able to hit that, unfortunately. Down to 11 shots with a pistol, and that will not go his way, at least for now.
he manages to save himself, but you know, that rift you do want to save that for endgame. So I mean, either for endgame or to stay alive. And in this case, it did make him stay alive. So well used, I guess.
Oh no. The karma is now built up here. He's Smiley trying to eliminate him. No trap this time, but he's got the scope. Sniper looking for the AR, trying to go for these shots.
I think this is a retaliation, right? I think what Smiley was using the Portal Rift or Rift ago, or am I wrong here?
I want to say no, because the HP of that target was so much lower. I think he's just third partying this indirectly.
Yeah, but he did use a campfire just now, so he's up to 58. So I think it was down to 8, but just flew away, set up a campfire, and yeah, since he has the scoped rifle, he could retaliate pretty. So the tables have turned now.
I actually want to ask you, since we talked about, you know, Bala and saying he's been impressed with a lot of players here, you being a European player, have you seen anyone that's really kind of stood out to you, like, wow, I didn't expect them to do this good, or yeah, that's how good the player is and I expected that out of them?
I mean, I recognize a lot of these names from the Scream community in EU, but I'm surprised. I haven't really seen Shakuni before. I haven't seen Jarkos. I've seen Teak, but not too much of him. So there's a lot of these new players who are new to me, just coming out of nowhere and just showing that they are on par with these players that I know have experience.
And again, that just shows like the caliber of players we have in this tournament. If you can compete against the best of the best here and still be able to shine over towards Tilted. We do have about 5 players here, a couple more in the vicinity. But we didn't really see too many eliminations on Tilted in the last game. Most players just got out relatively safely.
Yes, I would expect to see a bit more players dropping Tilted in the later stages of the games. But yeah, I mean, there's about 5 people in Tilted, like you said, and just look at Baku's loadout. This is just amazing. It does have the blue pump. He does have an epic AR with him as well. Some clingers, launchpad, can just take a sweet little time here, replace the walls, get some free brick, and yeah, just wait for an opportunity to strike.
The only thing I see missing, though, is ammo, I guess, in the end of things. Is perfect. He has a perfect weaponry and the utility to use the launch pad to get away as well. He's already in the storm. But if he had, 100, 200 shots, he could have potentially hit a lot of people who would transition from that junction side of the map, from the northwest down here towards the circle.
Yeah, looks like he was scouting around, didn't really find anyone, so went on to the next. So we see Noisy here. He's hiding in an existing truck. He does have Zero all the way across the frozen lake here. But
he's gotta be careful moving across that ice, though.
That's really scary, right? It gives you a little speed boost, but it also messes with your controls, right?
You become very predictable in where you're moving, making those projectile shots out of the sniper rifle a little bit easier to hit. We do have a rift to go as well, as you saw there. It looks like we're gonna have Cass actually going up against Bass. So Cass versus Bass.
Cass versus Bass in a little standoff. I think we did have a fight here earlier. I did saw a loot pile right there, so I think Cass, what is it?
Yeah, it has to be Cass then who has elimination then.
Yeah, Cass must have it. I have it.
You see Bass trying to replace a couple of these walls, give him sort of edit through. I'm assuming Cass is hearing this one out as well. Not sure there's anyone else in the vicinity. Stink bombs that come through is going to force Cass into a different position, but not really taking much damage off of this. Another one to be thrown in. He's got one left to use. Hashtag, by the way, look at the activity feed, has fallen. He was our top result from that last round.
Yeah, so he does have a lot of points, so at this point it doesn't really matter for him if he loses the game. Just gotta throw it off. Like, it happens. Just come back.
I mean, you say that, right? But I'd be like, I got first place in results in the last round. Like, I'm expecting to do better. And then now he's pretty much 0 points, which can drop him really far down the standings. But hopefully for him, an experienced player will be able to, like you said, brush this off. Cass versus Bass. Looks like Cass is trying to keep his distance. The pickaxe had come through. If the pickaxe won't do enough. But he was down to 1 HP, so he almost was able to pick up that elimination.
Stuck on a tree there. It's not really a place you use to fight people at, and it's pretty hard. Like these hitboxes of the trees, you're quite not sure where you are. Yeah, but he did it fine. No one really got stuck or anything like that.
All right, well, Cass gonna be living to fight another day, as you can see. Able to build up towards that 50 shield yet again. Sumru, so we haven't really talked about too much. He's got an epic AR and has a pretty decent kit behind this too. The redeploy in there. He's got as well the launch pad, but he doesn't really have anyone to fight just yet. But he has at least one elimination, so at least 5 points. Which, if we actually kind of give an idea of what that means, those 5 points already puts you in a better position than placing top 50 or placing like 50 to I think about like 45 with 0 eliminations. So that already gives you a major jump.
That's true, and as we can see, a lot of players running around with only 50 shields. So this might have something to do with like we have 100 people dropping on one map. A lot of these big shields will run out, so players won't really be able to find new places to loot these shields and go up to max health. So that could explain the sudden change of hostility between players.
Yeah. Like aggression.
Yeah, aggression. Yeah, you might want to like grab a fight, hopefully get up to 200 health to make sure you're more secure than you were 5 minutes ago.
We did see Helu actually get very far in that last round. He's gonna look for an elimination against Katrav. He's gonna have at least a health advantage for now. He's got him blocked in against that Rift to go. He's got a chain gun as well, which he's gonna bring out and just mow down all of these buildings. That minigun doing some work. Only the great AR to use, but actually a third party coming through. You can see Katrav already very low HP. Now he's being shot up as well.
So I'm not sure about that. Like normally when you're third party, you might wanna focus on one guy to make sure that actually one person falls down.
I don't know if you can't really honk from that far away, right? Like when you're the Stormwing.
Yeah,
you know that you're friendly.
Yeah, just a little bit of a standoff here again. I mean, Helu's inventory is looking pretty good. Finds a slurper as well, so doesn't necessarily need to engage, but he knows that he has the upper hand. But yeah, we'll see how he plays that.
I like that little push through though, because I feel like he knows he has Katrab on the back foot, so he's like, all right, I'm gonna pick up this slurp, get back closer to that 200 HP, which he definitely could have used or his opponent definitely could have used there. And look at this, just kind of following each other.
Yeah, looks like Brissa has been trying to get away from a fighter and losing, and Shaz just like, nope, you're not going anywhere.
You gotta be so careful though. You can see a player already on the high ground, potentially should await this one. Brissa's gonna land first, but can he get the build up in time? Shaz, can he close this one? He actually misses the land. He doesn't stick at the right place, doesn't get the high ground away from him. He's gonna knock him back down. The building's gonna fall. Brissu, 53 HP, still living to fight for now, but for how long is gonna be the question.
Sounds like the guy on the mountain over there is third partying as well, and Brissa going down pretty low. I mean, at this point, like Chaz he's lost his shield, so he does need to finish this up now. He has to commit to, and he did it. Like,
well, Real Tide was the player up on top of the mountain too, who was popping up a couple of shots.
But this is really important for Chaz because his inventory wasn't looking that strong, and he committed to the fight. So he did really need to follow through there. He couldn't really decide, okay, yeah, I might not win this fight, so I may as well just leave. But yeah.
Right. I can see Yarg is not able to hit that shot, unfortunately. It's the Boo who's going to make him, well, hopefully not cry, but he'll have to wait to the next round to participate yet again.
Did you see his inventory? He had a silence pistol and attack shotgun only, so that was a big upgrade for him, just landing that elimination.
Well, Real Tide, we talked about him before, popping up a couple of shots on top of the mountain. Karma will come back to bite him in the rear end, though, as the Storming does give a little presence towards him. You see Zhu off towards the far hand side of your screen as the Storming is just going to, dissipate into the distance, fly off into that lovely sunset.
I mean, these Stormwings, they really do third party a lot, just looking for opportunities rather than staying in the air and trying to stay safe for as long as possible, which is something that kind of surprises me. Not something I'm really used to. But this Stormwing just keeps on going. Hehe here trying to just keep on building, staying away from it. That's Tyovsky up in the Stormwing. It is.
He's had some rough games too. He's really not performed the way he's wanted to, in the way that we know he can. So maybe this will be a better game for him. We can see the campfire of Emmer already being used. Makalele not sitting really healthy at the moment, but he's going to be popping something.
Looks like
getting that HP back up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is the name I never managed to say right.
Jabel.
Jabel.
We're ignoring the DZE because apparently that makes a J sound in Polish as well. So Jabel is what we've been going with.
Yeah, I think I butchered the name yesterday a couple of times.
It happens. It definitely happens. Makalele is back to 100 HP.
Not a lot of ammo in this what's it called, minigun.
Yeah. Is he a ninja? Those? Oh my gosh, already getting shot up. And hey, he was low on HP. He's back low yet again. He's got the first aid to use another time, but you can see there's a player towards the north, a player towards the south. The Storm is still going to be a distance away that he's going to have to run to catch up to. He's actually very far between Dusty and Tilted, so he's going to have a heck of a run ahead of him here. All three of these players will.
And that's Heisel. They're bringing the building down for Makelele. And as he transitioned from the Storm, I think he's looking really aggressive. Wants to clean this up as he goes on. Oh, his inventory is looking beautiful as well. So he does seem to be in the Storm.
Oh, here's the trap. He's like, all right, I'm out, boys. I'm not going for this. I'm going to go for a different angle into this fight, looking to replace the wall off to the side. Makelele is just, the thing is, he's been in constant combat for the last minute to 2 minutes. Like, he's had no chance to breathe, no chance to just take that second and think about, all right, what can I do to get away from this one? Editing your way out might be a possibility. Heisel, as you mentioned, has a great inventory, and it looks like he will be trying to edit out and try to look for another path, another avenue.
We see a Storming flying through here. Won't really do anything. No, that one. Oh, Makelele actually goes down eventually.
Yeah, we had to assume he would fall from that. Yeah, still 2 players off towards the southeast of Heisel, who's going to look to transition through. Should be fine. Smiley, Taboo, both going to be alive. Smiley just kind of waiting for his prey.
We seem to have a lot of these players just being stuck on the side of the Storm, and just a lot of standoffs before actually moving forward. But Taboo just keeps moving into the zone, while Smiley was trying to stay there for a while. But yeah, Taboo just pulling through, gets the limb, won't really get the loot though. I think he would have the time to run in and get the loot, but a bit too risky at this point.
Now Adam's going to be forced here with the stink bomb to back away. He's got a couple of bandages to use, yes. That will take you up a little bit of HP. Currently is at 55. Campfire has run out. You can see towards his towards our left-hand side. And Venox is looking to pressure the situation. You can see Adam getting back to that 75 HP, but the problem is Venox is going to be here in just a few seconds, or at least it looked like he was going to go for it. Instead, going to back off. I'm pretty sure he had to have seen the white damage come through. He also has that rift to go, so he's actually already in a perfect position. He's basically in the center of the Storm, and he's got a rift to go. But he doesn't have the greatest of weapons, and he doesn't really have anything to heal with just yet, Martin.
And using a lot of those mats when he already has a building standing here is not something I would necessarily agree with, but in the heat of the moment, you know, you can't really. I really love mats management. It's something I can talk about all day, really. But
remember, Heisel, he had a great inventory to use too. You can see already the push come through out of Sheer, trying to make sure to actually pick this up because of the weapons he did have. And now everyone's trying to build up towards this direction, able to get the high ground himself. It's going to be a real tie. The man we've seen do so well yesterday in duos. If he's going to be able to do it just yet again, a Storming Cup, I think, even in the vicinity on top of things. But Sheer, he wants this.
We have Real Tiger, another player that we haven't really mentioned a lot today, but was someone we mentioned a bunch yesterday. A little bit of a skirmish. Ooh!
Oh my lord! I did not expect him to edit his way back there to go for the shot when he got taken so low. He had a couple of small shields he could have popped to be healthier into that fight, but he's like, all right, you're going to predict me to back away and try to heal up. I'm going to get aggressive and catch you off guard.
It's all mind games, right? Did you see it was like, there was someone in a bunker here just now in the shot with about 1 health. That's not looking too good for him. A little bit of build fight going on here with Ketra. I'm not really sure who it is. It's Hehe. By the edge of the zone as well. Again, you do have to finish this up pretty fast. Looks like Hehe does have the glide redeploy though, but yeah. Oh, Shikuni go down. Okay, so Shikuni has fallen, so he's not going to have another victory route for him so far in this game. We still have a couple more to come up though, so I wouldn't put it past him. You have Whopping as well, another name we've been talking about quite a bit here. So off to the side, looking to actually rain down fire on Arcos, who's just trying to stay alive because he's trying to build as quick as he possibly can. And we see this, like, when we look at these inventories of the players with 0 elimination, it's looking really scarce. We only see about like 1, 2, 3 inventory slots being used. But Aroki here with 1 elimination is looking pretty good. Yeah, here we have Hupik, like I talked about, like I said, like he has 0 elimination, and you can tell by his inventory. He almost has the Shikuni special, you know, just 2 weapons and nothing to heal with, and doesn't have a lot of HP to use at the moment. But hey, he's trying to make his way through here. 61 players left alive, so he's going to be, I would imagine, relatively quiet. If you're in a situation, Martin, you know, with not a great inventory, do you try to third-party something? Are you trying to do what Shikuni did and just try to last towards the later stages? Yeah, you just have to wait for an opportunity to strike, and because how are you going to make it to endgame if you aren't named Shikuni or Evil at the moment? Yeah, he's got 2 eliminations. He's looking fairly good. He's got the rift to go. The heavy sniper on top of this. 81 buildings he can go for. An Evil squeaky bum moment right there. Yeah, like Evil known for his clutch back in game number 2, and he's been doing good, just doing very, very good overall as well. And consistency. Yeah, consistency is key.
It is, and he's shown it time and time again here. We still have Zeke left alive. He's been relatively quiet so far in solos. Even X-Fixer, I don't think we've mentioned his name a single time, has been able to make his way through into remaining about 60 players. And Teak, who had a massive elimination streak in that last game, up against Macius, who had a big jump as well. Those two players had a massive leap in the leaderboard into, into that last match.
Oh, just look at this. Just beautifully executed. Builds the box, traps him, and yeah,
He's got so much purple.
Yeah, so at this point, Starkster doesn't really need to do anything but to aim for endgame. At least I wouldn't in this case. All of this loot, like going for eliminations at this point is just, I would say unnecessary. But I mean, if you feel confident enough, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're king, I guess you can go for that. Macius looks like he did get the better of Teak, as you can still see him alive in that little bit of a fight he did have. So Teak, unfortunately, will fall. Macius, the dual partner of Shikuni, looking to, you know, avenge his fallen brother, I guess you can say, in some sort of sense.
Just look at all of these, like all of this fighting going on, but we do actually have 55 players left in the circle. It's a little bit more than from what we saw in the last game, I believe. Did the circle actually land on the mountain?
It did. So a part of the mountain, there is a part of the circle off of it, but the thing is we have Storm Surge coming into effect right now. You can see 386 damage above this, but this is where people are going to start to drop like flies. 51 remaining. We've lost about 10 in the last 30 seconds. Narajola is still going to be alive here with the storming as well, just fine. Like, you guys have your fight down there. I'm going to chill in the sky and join in a little bit later on.
That's right. Not too many stormings in play. There's about, actually about 4 or 5 of them. So, yeah, we did have the one game where, the last game where we had about 7 or 8 stormings.
Yeah.
Flying on Puff's Paradise. Yeah, just look at this. There's still a lot of them. Just, I mean, they are attacking low ground though. They are not staying up there to stay safe. Some of these stormings are aggressive enough to try to do some damage down there.
I almost wish there was some like static placings of weapons you could use for anti-air to actually shoot them down, to punish them, to not let them sit in the sky for so long. But hey, thing is, that's the strategy they've gone with, right? We're gonna sit up here, yeah, we're not gonna get any eliminations, but we're playing for placement. So there is an upside and a downside, advantage and a disadvantage to playing that style.
That's right. Look at that. We have Lothar here in the bottom right. Still alive, doing pretty good. He's up on the mountain, which is really a place you want to be now, unless you're a fan of mountain goating.
And that's, well, it's not going to happen anymore, as we do see the new circle come through. So everyone's going to have to actually transition. I wanted to even almost ask you at some point, what happens now? Because if you have to climb that mountain, it's going to be difficult. But that question is completely out as we see the storm move completely away from it.
Yeah, that's right. Anisha can be just moving out. Ooh, Evil here in a very good spot, really close to Serva. Oh, look at his inventory.
Just still good.
Like, he's still doing good. A little bit low on mats, but at this point, in this point of the game, you kind of have to expect sitting around 500 materials. But I would almost believe that, expect him to go for a kill here to boost up his mat count.
He's looking for it too. You can see there's a player off to the side. He was looking to aim on. Zeke will take down Starjo, who, again, Zeke's been relatively quiet, but finally might have his breakthrough game here in round number 4. People are going to start to move. The shot just going to miss out of Evil, but let's be honest, he's not going to miss too often.
So when the circle reaches the white part, the storm will see less and less stormings. Oh, was that a trap? The trap went off, but didn't really eliminate anyone. Hupik goes down there. Rough. I did see Noisy still in play. Looks like Evil wants to use his rift here to make sure he gets somewhat of a free rotation. Actually, he doesn't really have to. Could just decide to go by foot, but he knows he has an enemy right there next to him. But decides to go
that was brave to run with that in your hand, not being able to shoot back. It does eventually use the rift to go. Even oh my, Ice Fire is going to be in a great position to pick up the supply drop. The question is, what will he get off it if he can build into it at the same time? See, Richard as well, he's still alive. He's still been able to be consistent across yesterday and today. And now Mosby, he's going to be the one with pretty much high ground at the moment. He's being shot out from below. He's going to drop it through the trap!
That was
Zeke!
amazing.
My man!
Just what's that Teak?
That was Zeke.
Zeke.
Oh, man. You see Cass as well. We tuned in with him earlier on. He takes a lot of damage here, about 90 as he transitioned back into this mansion, you want to call it, as we have built up from all these players. Noisy's still going to be alive. I think Lothar has dropped out of this one, unfortunately.
Lothar was alive. I saw him.
Oh, he was alive.
Low on health.
Yeah, he is still alive.
He was hiding. Yeah, he is in a pretty awkward spot, though, but he's still alive.
Well, we're going to be... Actually, the storm's going to be transitioning into a precarious position here in just a few seconds time. Richard, Zeke, both on the high ground. If Richard just turns around, he could have had a clean shot towards Zeke, but maybe they're not trying to attract attention towards each other, at least in that fight. You can see actually laid back as well. He actually got into the high ground against him, trying to look for the elimination there. Zeke, in the meantime, is ditched. He's actually used that launch pad to get away from this one. We saw Evil as well towards the left-hand side. Still alive, still fighting.
We see a lot of people here recycling the existing rifts and launch pads. Just Evil down to 300 mats. Still does have his launch pad, so he should feel that he's in a somewhat safe position. And here we have the minigun again. Oh, what a beautiful position! We've seen so many miniguns this play, and we did see a storming fall from the sky, just landing on top of two people there.
Boohoo able to get that first elimination. Vinz is going to be here as well. And you see the high ground has been taken away from Precious. Is going to be the one to do that, trying to spam out Venox as he's just trying to fly down. He's like, let me stay alive. Let me get down here. He does eventually get his way through to survive. Boohoo up to 3 eliminations now. That's a guaranteed 15 points. 15 players left alive now here, Martin.
Oh, look at the Evil.
Is that a bush? I said there's sort of a bush.
And Evil just hiding in the existing field here in Fatal, which is just amazing. I haven't really seen that before.
There we go, Evil now. He's got the HP 164 to use. Those 2 limbs. He's looking for a shot. He's gonna spot out a player and just gets built in right in front of him. He's not able to do much about this. Down to 18 HP. He will be dropped by Tyovsky, who's finally had a breakthrough game here in round number 5. You can see now Boohoo already building across where the storm's gonna be. You can see Precious. He can drop down top of that, use that to his advantage if he wants to, or it looks like he wants to maintain his high ground, but he's already being shot up now. He falls down, 55 HP left to go. He's got a slurp to use, but does he have time to get it off?
This minigun just doing so much work here. Just look at Boohoo, just spraying, all out of ammo now. Oh, and there we go.
Oh, that was a lot of damage being taken there. Boohoo still has 100 HP. He's starting to run a little bit low on ammo, though. He's going to have to be careful. His mats, he's out. He cannot build anything here. So he has to hope to use whatever's been built up from his enemies, or maybe potentially pick an elimination as still. Macius is still alive again. Duo partner Shikuni able to take this ultimate high ground now and look for his own victory royale.
And a lot of players here at the very low part of the build fight, he's just flying in and trying to claim the high ground from Macius, which is amazing, but doesn't really ultimately manage to get it.
Doesn't have anything to heal with either. This is almost a replica of what we did just see in that last match on Shikuni. He's got 1 elimination, QLN 15 HP in a dream, not able to go for the elimination just yet as he drops down, trying to get his way, trying to survive. 3 left to build for some walls, and he gets the shot! QLN takes down WinQ, and he keeps his hopes alive in this round.
And that was so important. Just look at Campson here. He also needs to pull something off here to get some more health. Mace is still on the high ground with only 22 health, so if he can pull some eliminations off, he's in a really good spot.
Only 22 health, but what did his duo partner have in the last game? 13, and he's still looking to have a hope. QLN picks up a nice little streak of 2. Precious, Macius on the high ground. You can see Boohoo on the bottom with Fizzy as well. Macius just needs this elimination somehow. But he also needs to safely transition down. He only has 6 more builds to use, and that's going to be one of them now. That's going to be another 2. He's down to 3. You can see Precious push into it. Precious gets the shot. Macius is out. He's down, and now it's Skosas, QLN, and Precious. 3 players left alive.
And Precious here, obviously in the upper hand with 200 health, whereas QLN and Skosas are pretty low on health, and Precious does have the high ground, which plays heavily in his favor.
This is his game to lose. He's got the epic pump 2 to use. He's got the ability to drop down. He's got enough materials to build with for now. He's actually going to be dropped for a second. There's 6 left to go from QLN. Going to be on the very low ground, down to a 1-on-1. Precious up against QLN. The high ground going to be in his advantage. He has the HP as well. The storm is full. He gets it. He's trying to build. What is he doing? You can see QLN
going inside his zone.
He misses the shot. He comes out big. The miss shot, the misplay of trying to edit and build at the same time. And QLN with 7 eliminations will take home that 100 points.
That's a lot of additional points on top of the first place. 7 eliminations, victory royale. Wow.
Oh, I mean, we've had some endings to some games, gentlemen, but it's QLN who takes home the win. There he is. Throws up the love heart there, and that's the one thing you want to be looking at on your monitor at the end of the game, the big victory royale sign. But, I mean, the end of that game, I mean, break it down for us a little bit there, Martin. A crazy end once again.
Yeah, I mean, we did see a lot of players in awkward positions, but you know, as long as you push a little bit, you manage to get an elimination off, get a boost back up, some materials, some health. You could just snowball from there.
QLN did snowball quite heavily. He picked up, I want to say, like 5 at least of those eliminations towards the last part of this actual fight. The thing is, he went off when it really mattered, and you saw Macius as well. He tried to have an opportunity to do what his teammate did before.
So obviously another player we have now picking up the victory royale there. It's been Shikuni, it's been Teak, Messius, Evil, Hupek, and now QLN to add to the list of players to pick up those victory royales. But again, 7 eliminations along the way, Martin, and we've seen one big game. It really can put you in contention.
Back and forth, and yeah, it's just amazing, really.
Thing is, I swear, watching that match, I was so nervous to see Messius pull off exactly like Shikini did. Like, he was in the position to do it. He had the high ground. He had the same amount of HP pretty close. The weaponry was about the same as well. But Precious coming through there was able to take care of him, and QLN, to be able to fight back like that, to not miss your shots, most importantly, in those high-pressure situations when it comes down to, are you going to get the victory royale, or are you going to take home that second place?
I mean, it was obviously a very tight game, but we need to, Messius, again, a really strong performance from him. We've already seen him take home a victory royale, and it just seems that like Shikuni and him are having a pretty decent run of things at the moment. That duo partnership still looking good towards these last couple of games that we have coming up today. Important placement points for him. Obviously, not too many eliminations, but getting those points on the board when you're up at the top of the leaderboards has got to be a priority for these guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's really what you need, right? If you want to bring it home, you just gotta keep it up.
And the thing is, like, if you do so well, like for instance, Teak, I think was one of the players we were talking about. He had a massive streak in the prior round, but going into this one, he got dropped very early on. And mentally, that's gotta be a little bit frustrating to know, like, all right, I put up a big match, I can do it again. Then you get dropped out of top 50. I don't think he had any eliminations either. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that, but the fact you have a big game and then you have a not so big game, it's gotta wear on you a little bit.
I mean, when you're playing 7 games, you kind of have to take into account, like, okay, I will have maybe 1, 2, 3 bad games, but as long as I can keep some consistency up across maybe 4 or 5 games, then
yeah.
You should still have a good opportunity to land out on top or turn out on top. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk about Precious as well at the end there. I thought he was going to take that one, to be honest with you, dropping down onto QLN. But that one missed pump shot, that could be the difference between first and second place. And he's going to be probably looking at his monitor thinking, that should say victory royale. What just happened? Like, what just happened there? But QLN clutching up.
Yeah, he did. And the thing is, like, Martin, you can easily speak to this. The adrenaline's pumping. You're on the stage, you're nervous, you know, you're in the zone right now, and you're Precious in that situation. He missed the shot, then he tried to build to block a shot. He actually, I think, missed out on that one. I think he had any materials to build with, if I'm not mistaken. And then it came down to him just not landing it and not really having that chance.
I mean, it's really hard. Like, yeah, as you mentioned, like, you have the adrenaline going and everything.
Wow,
so
look at that.
I was just about to say, gentlemen, I mean, we talked about how a big game can flip things around. Top of the leaderboards after that big game. QLN in first place. He knocks Shikuni into second place now. Messius now in third.
Yeah, that's the big one for me.
That's the big one.
Messius, just like, he has been tooth and nail climbing his way to the top now, able to break through into the top 3 off of these last 2 matches alone. And we still have 3 matches left to go today. It's really anyone's game, but that's good to see so much consistency towards this top half of the standings.
And even, you know, you saw Jarkos in there as well, and Precious obviously moving into 11th place there, picking up those points for that second place. 158 points on the board for him. I mean, even with those points, I would say, you know, if you're within 100 points or so with a couple of games left today, 2 or 3 games, then you're still very much in contention with things. And that's when the pressure gets ramped up even more, isn't it? It knows, if you're sat at the top of the leaderboard, maybe you can think, okay, could potentially have a game where things just don't go my way for whatever reason. I've got those points on the board, but knowing you have to perform in every single game to put yourself in contention of lifting a trophy at the end of the day, that's got to just turn it up a notch for these guys.
It's hashtag for me. Like, he was the top results in the last round, and he got eliminated really early on in this round. The thing is, like, he was starting to climb his way up, and then he gets, you know, stunted right there in round 4. I hope for him and for his sake, he can kind of keep his mind open and realize, all right, I just got to take a second, you know, breathe. Like, the thing is, you know, you've played consistently, like, you know, obviously you live and breathe Fortnite, right? Sure. You kind of need those moments where you just take that breather, you take that second and kind of collect yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about it before. Like, you really do need a breather. You need to take a step back. Maybe, like, if you've done some mistakes, you need to just, okay, everybody makes mistakes, right? Just take a mistake, throw it out the window, and yeah, get into a new game, and yeah, just go.
Okay, well, gentlemen, fantastic work as always. QLN is going to be the man who takes the victory royale. We're going to go for a quick break now. When we get back, though, we've got another game coming your way. Plenty more Fortnite action to come.